Okay, great. So what we're going to do now is we just going to take a few questions that have been prepared, and I'll answer some questions around sales, around generating income, around building sales teams, whatever comes up, and hopefully that'll add value to any of you that are watching this and can really associate with some of the key things that come up from real live people who are experiencing it every day. So anyone of you guys got a question that I can answer?
If I've never done any sales before, and I don't have a database or salespeople, what would be the first step I would need to take in order to go and start selling?
Okay, good. So great question. So if I've never done any sales before and I start my business today, what's the first step that I could take in order to start finding some people? Great. You know, some of you will find yourself there right now. You know, some of you might have started a business a couple of weeks, months ago, but you're going, where do I find the customers that I want? Okay, so a couple of ways. One is when I first started working with Blair Singer 10.5 years ago, one of the tasks that he gave me. So when I first started working with Blair, we launched a business coaching business. And what Blair said to me was, you need to go and find some customers. So I said, cool. He said, great. What are you doing on Wednesday morning? I said, I don't know. He goes, well, I have plans for you. And basically what he got me to do was park my car in the nearest business location to where I lived and get out of my car and hit the streets. And his task to me was, when you have 100 business cards, phone me back and tell me you're done. So essentially what I had to do is I got up one morning, parked my car. I live in Boksburg. I parked it in Benoni. And I walked the streets and I knocked on doors and I introduced myself. And if I did it today, it would be something like this. Hi, my name is Barry Mitchell. I'm part of a team called Uncovering Greatness. Do you have a minute to chat? They would say yes or no. If they said yes, I'd go, great, thank you. As I said, my name is Barry. You know, for over 20 years, we've worked around the world helping business owners change their businesses and increase their income. Right now in the current economy, is that something you'd be interested in looking at? That's it. And then they would say yes or no. If they said yes, I'd go, great, thank you. Here's my card. Could I get your card and give you a call at a more convenient time? I said I only wanted a minute. Boom, that was it. I had a card. Then I'd go next. Okay, if they said no, I'd handle the objection. I understand, why would you not want to increase your business where you're at? Okay, great. And my goal was to get 100 business cards. And what I did is I got out and I got 100 business cards. And what do you think I suddenly found? Some potential customers. Some people that I went in, asked them some questions. They were interested. Did I have to create the elevator pitch? Did I have to? Yes. I had to practice. I had to create that. I had to connect with them and go out. So take that step by step. And what that did is that found me some business owners. Did I do business with 100 of them? No. In fact, on that first exercise, I did business with very few. The task was more for me to get through my little voice and that little voice of knocking on doors than anything else. And so get out and go do that, in your area. When last did you go and meet some business owners in the area? People say to me, I can't find any customers. Drive down any street, you'll see a shopping center full of businesses. Business park full of businesses. And it's getting through that ability to be able to go do that. So that's the first step, is get out and go meet people. There's a whole lot of other things. Some of you might be part of networks. Are you joining a network group that meet once a week, once a month, share coffee, do those type of things? I was in Australia a couple of weeks ago doing the Sales Explosion program, and the week before I was there, I was taken to a number of network meetings where I went and spoke for 20, 30 minutes and talked to them about what I did and connected with them. But met a whole pile of people that run businesses. So get out, go and get into their world to find customers. In the Sales Explosion program, we'll take you through about 12 key things that you can do in order to go initially find those customers. But for me, the simplest and easiest way is get out of your office. The tendency for a lot of people is to hide behind the laptop. If I send out 10,000 emails, then someone's going to phone me. No, they're not. And if they do, great. But rather take control of your own situation. Go meet people. Go to network meetings. Go to Mike and Bean and have some coffee and sit, next door, and you see a business owner and go, hey, bud, sorry, I don't mean to intrude, but what do you do? That's going to take some getting over your little voice when you start meeting people. Go to the gym. If anything, sign up for the gym so every day you go train and you can meet 2 or 3 people. But you start prospecting and start connecting with people. But you've got to learn how to get out, meet people. And what happens is, how many of you realize that people know people? And some people will say, no, I'm not interested, but I have a friend or I know somebody, and that happens often. Does that make sense? Great question. So, yeah, to recap that, just get out, go knock on the door, go meet people. I challenge any of you. Doesn't matter where your business is at. I challenge any of you. You want to supercharge your business, supercharge your team. Take up that cold call challenge just for a day. Go from 7:30 until I've got 100 is tough, but it doesn't matter. Whether you do 20, 30, 50. Just get out and set yourself a goal and go collect some cards. And what it'll do, you'll have serious energy. You'll learn that you have a little voice, and you start pushing through things. Okay, good. Thank you. Okay, who's got another question?
Do you have some tips on call center calls? Because I often get this call. Hi sir, it's Joe from X Business. How are you today? And so I'm very well, thank you. And you? Thank you for asking the questions. I'm very well. And then it's into the sale.
Okay, good.
But,
So the question is, in working with call centers and working with people on a phone, how do you get through that typical call center speech? The first thing is what I find is that the mistake that lots of call centers make is that they don't do that. They don't get into your world first. Yes, they might ask how you, but what you do is you know that that's just coming straight off the script. And sometimes you can hear people are reading the script. Hello, sir, how are you? Fine, thank you. Test it next time. Say something totally out of the ordinary and watch the person will say, thank you for asking, sir. So the first thing is if you're running a call center or you're setting up a call center, you've got to be authentically real. And again, you've got to listen. You've got to teach people how to listen. So get in their world. I don't know, I got phoned yesterday, funny enough, by a cell phone company. So I'm phoning you from this cell phone company because I said, thanks very much, but I already have a package that I'm comfortable with. Yes, sir, but you don't understand. Immediately I was like, no, you don't understand. So that was the one. The other one is I got phoned by my bank, and they phoned me to sell me one of their products. And it was a product that really I don't need, I'm not interested in, it's just going to cost me more money. And the guy spent 2 to 3 minutes trying to convince me why I was wrong and why I needed to listen to him about his product. And so, in any of those, get in the client's world first. Ask some questions, pretty simple. So you're selling insurance on the phone. Hey sir, if you don't mind me asking, I'm phoning you from this company. Are you happy with your current level of insurance? Are you sure you're covered? Get in their world and then listen to what they say. And if the guy goes, yes, I am, then you need to prepare your team to go, great, what is, ask questions like, what is it right now that you like about the insurance policy that you have? If there's something that they could do that they're not doing for you, what would that be? So what I find, and I understand that's the power of call centers. It's again, it goes back to numbers. If you find enough people, you'll get enough people. But in some of the work that we've done in call centers, if you teach people how to connect on a much more personal level, one, it totally increases your experience and increases what your closing rate. The other thing is this: if you're phoning an existing client, and they're one of your existing clients, make sure you know a little bit about them. I don't know, I get a cell phone company phone me and offer me Talk 120 product, whatever that, just pulling something out of the air, but maybe it's a product that costs $120 a month and it's, 5 free minutes on airtime, and I have a cell phone bill that's in the thousands of rands. They're wasting my time. So part of it is understand where your customer's at, ask them some questions. You're currently a client of ours, what package do you have? Okay, great. And then logic tells me that, are you looking at, but again, go back into asking questions. Get in their world, get in your client's world. And then the second step is teach people how to handle objections. I think the thing that drives a lot of people away is people start convincing. Yes, but you don't understand. Yes, but our product is this. Oof, my wife had it yesterday. She had 7 calls from an overseas investment house that is trying to convince her to invest, but out of London. And she just said, look, I'm not interested. But the whole time it was, no, but you don't understand. But we can do this for you. And that drives people away. So look, some people I'm sure will tell you that if you just do that, if you do the numbers, it'll work. That's cool. But my belief is get a lot better at connecting with people. Learn how to get on the phone. Learn how to get in their world. Learn how to connect with them. Learn how to ask questions. And if you do that enough times to enough people, you'll connect with the right people. And the other thing is when someone puts down the phone, you're not sending off a pissed off customer who's like, I never want to deal with those people again. They're like, wow, that was a pleasant experience, even though I didn't buy it. I didn't feel as though it was being forced down my throat. Does that make sense? Cool, great question. Okay, good. Next.
Is there any type of success ratios in terms of calls made, initial interaction versus closure of deals? I know it's a numbers game,
Yeah.
but is there a theoretical success rate?
I don't believe there is a theoretical success rate. I believe it's industry specific. It depends on the length of your call cycle. It depends on the value of your product. So in each industry there'll be a number that you want to push for. So like in the insurance industry, there'll be a number that qualifies you as a sort of top earner in terms of how many people you speak to and how many people you can close. I know in the seminar game, when you stand on a stage and sell off stage, there's a closing percentage, and if you're above that, you're doing well. If you're below that, But again, I think the importance in percentage for me is essentially not the total percentage, but are you measuring it and are you getting better? So if your closing rate's 10% and you're speaking to 100 people, and you can keep speaking to 100 people and you can get it to 20%, you're getting better. Your mate next door might be doing it at 30%, but maybe that mate's only speaking to 20 customers. So what I'd find out is why that mate is doing 30%. What are they doing that you're not doing? And if they're legal, ethical, and moral things, adopt the same things. If not, keep doing what you're doing. But that's just my world. But essentially not really sometimes sort of a figure of 20% conversion rate will come to mind, and I go, if you're seeing 100 people and you can turn 20 people into a sale, yeah, that's pretty good. But if you're selling nuclear rockets, it's a very limited customer base, very different sales cycle. If you're selling high-end technology into the mining industry, much longer sales cycle, a lot more steps to it. If you're selling toothpaste, you probably have a much higher hit rate. Just importantly, I think the most important thing is measure your numbers, know what your numbers are, and are you working to get those numbers better? And if you're working to get those numbers better, you're on the way up and you're improving. Does that make sense? Okay, cool, great question. Okay, good. Anything else?
I have another one.
Yeah.
In the sports books, people use a lot of visualization.
Yes.
Previously, you talked about practice.
Yeah.
Do you perceive practice is the same effect as visualization in the sales industry?
Okay, very good. So the question is, people use visualization in the sports industry. So I'm a big proponent of visualization and affirmation. So I'm a big proponent of practicing. So practice for me is practicing what you're doing. So it's drilling. It's so like if you go into the sports industry, if I likened a salesperson to a high jumper, a high jumper will practice getting over the bar, but a high jumper will also visualize. So when do they visualize? They visualize before they take off. But before they take off, they've spent hours and hours and hours on the practice track, jumping. Once they've perfected that, they visualize what they're going to do. So if you watch a high jumper, you watch them. They have their eyes. Now, sales business is the same thing. Before you go into a meeting, visualize what's it going to look like. What are you going to talk about? What's going to happen? What it does, it mentally prepares your little voice to put you in that space. And then the other thing is affirmation. So, in any of the programs that I teach, I do a program called, I do a sales coaching program where I work with groups of entrepreneurs. And one of the first things that I teach them to do is affirmations. Simple affirmations. I'm a great salesperson. I meet people that are interested in talking to me and interested in my product. I'm a great salesperson. When I pick up the phone, people are open to listening to what I'm going to say. So you affirm those type of things. Again, you affirm that that little voice in the positive, not in the negative, because that little voice will go, when I pick up the phone, no one's interested. Shut up. And you affirm that when I pick up the phone, everyone's interested. Now, when you pick up the phone, is everyone interested? No, to start off with, not. And if you let that little voice get over you, that you see they're not, what happens is you start believing it. You go, shut up, and you keep affirming it. What happens is you start building your confidence, your tone in your voice picks up. You start finding more interested people. And same as visualization. Visualize. Before I pick up this phone, what am I going to say? So I'm going to say this. Okay, good. Role play and drill practice is different. So role play is, okay, cool. So you're going to be the customer. I'm going to pick up the phone. Hi, it's Barry Mitchell speaking. And now you role play that and you do it over and over and over again. When you pick up the phone, you do it. So put all three together. Practice, drill, visualize, affirm. And the best place to learn is where? Do the real thing. There's nothing like the real thing. A lot of people say, do you need to practice? Yes, but don't hold yourself from going on meeting people because you're spending a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks. When I get it perfect, then I'll go do it. Go do it, because the best place to learn is out in the field. Hi, my name is Barry. Okay, step back. What did I do? Debrief, do it again. Does that make sense? Okay, cool. Great question. So put all those things in place. It grows your little voice. It grows your mind. It allows you to sell you to you. And the most important sale of all is which? You to you. You build your confidence, you'll go knock on a door. You'll get out there and you'll make it happen. Okay, great question. Cool. Any other questions? Yeah.
You've got a salesperson in your company who's actually been a loyal staff member, but they're struggling to compete with the rest of the team. What are the techniques or things that you can do to get them on par again before you have to let them go?
Okay, so they've been a loyal, productive team member, not just a loyal team member.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've worked on teams where there's been lots of loyal people, but they haven't produced the goods. So they're always there and they're always around. But so there's a difference between. So they were a loyal, productive team member. Yeah. Again, it goes for me. It'll go back to little voice. It'll go back to where are they? What's in their mind? What's holding them back? If they've done it before, what's holding them back? And that often is a little voice. It's confidence levels. There's a whole lot of things that could come into it. So sit down and get in their world. Just literally sit down with them, build some rapport, get in their world, ask them some questions. Where are they at? Why are they doing what they're doing? What's happening? First of all, affirm that last year you were knocking it out the park, doing great. And then ask them, what's happened? What's going on? And then again, then I'd ask them, how can I help you? Do you want to get back to those levels again? Yes or no? Okay, good. Well, how can I help you get there? And then put on a process of being able to help them, coach them, guide them. And then what you want to see is you want to see them step up to the plate and do those things. And sometimes there's lots of things that happen in this that we don't even know about. Suddenly you get a new sales guy that comes in and is much stronger and big personality, and that person just feels like, and they lose their self-confidence and so Blair teaches this, that the first place to work on is build someone's self-concept. So when you change your self-concept, you start reconditioning yourself. So when you self-concept, self-confidence, self-belief, self-awareness, when you start shifting your self-concept, you start changing everything else. So a good place to start is start working on someone's self-concept. What's their level of self-confidence? When you start shifting that and helping them change that, you suddenly find that ex-performers now become performers again. Okay, great question. Cool. Anything else?
Yeah. In the sales cycle, what do you find most people struggle with in the steps?
What most people struggle with in the steps?
Yeah. Which step do you think is most?
The second one, getting off their butt and going to do some work. The first one's easy. Most people can sit and write a whole list of potential people they can speak to. The second one's the one they struggle to approach and contact, because that takes work. Yeah. So I would rather have a salesperson that has a massive high work ethic and doesn't know how to do the pitch properly and do all those type of things, because I can work on that pitch. That's attitude. So the key thing is attitude. Attitude to get out and make it happen. A lot of people talk a good game, don't play a good game. So for me, what I observe is one of the key things where people fail is They'll know all the stuff. We talked about it. They have all the information, and they say, "I know that," but the difference is taking the knowing into the doing. And so once you've found customers, and you've got a list of people, it's the rubber hits the road when you start taking action. And it's get out and go and knock on the door. So a lot of people would have heard me say, go out and make cold calls, go do this. What I guarantee you is, well, what I'm pretty sure less than 5% of you that are watching this or going to watch this will actually go out and take up that challenge. It'll be a good thing, but what will happen is your little voice will get in the way. A little voice gets in the way, and then it's more important to answer Facebook or send emails and that sort of stuff than it is to actually get out and go and knock on the thing. So to even simplify it even more, where does it stop? Little voice. Most people don't work on this. They work on, I speak to people and they go, yeah, we've been on sales course and we know all that and we have all that. Great. Why aren't you doing sales? What it comes down to is this, is the little voice gets in the way. We get in our own way. We get in our own way and we don't allow ourselves to get out and go and take action. So it's action. Take action. One of my favorite quotes is action kills fear. When you're scared of doing stuff, when you have a whole lot of stuff in your head, just take flipping action. Just go do something. And when you do it, it starts creating results. Sales is the same. Well, I don't know who's going to speak to me. Why don't just go speak to people? I don't know, go to the flipping mall and start speaking to people. That takes guts. It also takes getting through your little voice. But you start creating action. You start getting through stuff. I have a saying that says, doesn't matter how bad you are at sales, if you do enough work and speak to enough people, someone will feel sorry enough for you to buy, and that's all you need is one person to stop buying. When you have one person to stop buying, you're in the game. Most people don't do that. They quit before someone says yes. They'll go out and make 5 calls. I see it for example, in the network marketing business. People, Billy, we were having a discussion this morning. Why do a lot of people not make it in the network marketing business? Because they just flip and quit. What they do is they start off, they have this big dream that they're going to make gazillions of rands, and then 5 people say not interested and they quit. So they have this big list of people that they're going to speak to, but then they get out and first 5 people say no and they quit. Why? Because their being's not big enough and they're not prepared to just keep going. And that's business. Someone starts a business and they go, well, I'm going to give it 3 months, and if I haven't made any money, I'm going back to my job. Yeah, they quit. So you got to be able to push through. Business. I believe business and sales is more about the being that you are, that you can keep getting up and getting going, than what you know. So that little voice never goes away. You become bigger. You combat it more, and you get up and do it again, and go from there. So first step, work on this, push through that, and combine it with work ethic. And when you do that, you create absolute results. So hopefully I've been able to add some value to you. Thank you for those questions. And if those of you that are watching this, if you have any questions, the guys will send out a link and you can post your questions there, and we'll do whatever we can in order to add value and answer some of those questions the next time we do a sales training session, and make it real for you so we can answer some of those questions. And just those of you ask me, again, just to remind you, if you're interested, if you're interested and you really want to learn how to create results and you really want to learn how to sell, I'm going to encourage you, go to the link and link up for Sales Explosion Program, send the team your details, and it's 6,995 Rand. It's 27 hours of absolute focus training where I can guarantee you'll come out of that room going from maybe knowing how to sell to really understanding what sales is about. But more importantly, if you really apply yourself in that room, putting money in your pocket so that you can leave there with an absolute changed perspective on your business and your life. So, click on the link, leave your details, speak to the team, and they'll let you know how you can get involved in our next Sales Explosion program. So again, to Global Conference TV and to the team, it's been an amazing honor to be able to be part of this broadcast, to be able to teach in this fashion and add value to other business owners, other entrepreneurs, other aspiring business owners and entrepreneurs. Remember this, the first and most important sale of all is the sale you make to yourself. When you can sell to yourself, you can sell to everybody else. And as I love to say, every single one of you has greatness inside of you. Do whatever you can to uncover yours and uncover the greatness in others. Always be selling. We always sell. Thanks.